Yo, 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 what it do? What it do? It's me, it's that wrestling dude. And I'm joined here as always with the redhead everyone's dying to see on OnlyFans. Oh,
I
Ginger,
just
what's going on, bro?
What's up, guys? We have another ambassador joining us from the garbage pile itself. Who we got tonight? We saw
Man, we're with the man himself, the host of the Ghost Heads Nerd Talk podcast and the Dudes at Ringside podcast, Mr. Joe Panther the third himself, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hola to my Boricuas, the island of enchantment. I don't think.
Wepa.
What? Wepa, baby.
Wepa always works, bro. Wepa always works.
John Leguizamo would be like, oh, yeah.
I love the past.
All those pendejos.
Yeah, but he just like represents us. Isn't he not actually Puerto Rican? Isn't he like
He's Colombian.
Argentinian, Colombian, or something like that?
He's my idol. The man can.
Oh, he's great. I love him, but
anybody says anything about John, I immediately go into like Karen mode. I'm like, don't be talking about. Everybody knows, don't talk about it. It's like a warning, like you get when you like in the '90s when you were about to watch a WWF tape in the '90s. It's just like they're like, please don't talk about this in front of Joe. Joe loves John Leguizamo so much. You're gonna make fun of John? You better be prepared to know what you're gonna say next.
No, I'm not making fun of him. I just wanted to make sure that he's not Puerto Rican, he's Colombian. I thought he was mixed with something else too, but
yeah, he's a good guy. I met him. He's a nice guy. I met him. I was like 18. Yeah. I met him. He was mad young when I met him, so I got his autograph at Comic-Con. I had him autograph the picture for me, and he goes, "Man, we're really young in this picture, aren't we?" And I'm just like, "Oh, my idol just told me I'm old." Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I love the past, man.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, man, so people know like that you're not just any ordinary schlub like us doing this stuff, man. Like, let everyone know who's your family, man. Let them know that rich heritage you got going on there.
Well, with me, my name is Joe Ortiguez, aka Joe Panther the Third. I broke kayfabe, I unzipped it and popped my head out like I'm real. My name is Joe Ortiguez. I am been a professional wrestling fan. I'm gonna get like emotional. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a little boy. I found out that my family has my Latino family, my Boricua grandpa, Jose Quinones, miss you, Pops. He was a professional wrestler under Vince McMahon's dad. He wrestled under the name Jose Quinones. And very, very young, my dad told me, it was like the Hood Road song. My dad told me when I was very, very young that my grandfather was a wrestler. And I, as a kid, you're like a 9-year-old. How do you react to someone saying, "Oh, your grandfather's a wrestler," sits you down and thinking you're in trouble? And you left me, I'm always like, I'm in trouble. So he sits me down and goes, "This is your grandfather." And I'm like, "Why is the man wearing a mask?" Because he wrestled under Vince McMahon's dad. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm a 9-year-old thinking, oh, I have all this power over every wrestling fan. And after that date, I went to the Garden. A few days later, I went to the Garden to see my uncle, Uncle Tony. And I'm hearing my first ever hearing Howard Finkel's pipes like hit the walls of the Garden. And I knew wrestling was something I needed to be like super tightly into. As my grandmother would say, "No, love you, Guella, I miss you." She says that she feels like I have the voices in my ear of my grandfather telling me continue and teach people and tell people about me, even though I'm not with you. And that's why I use the name Joe the Panther, because like it keeps his name going in the wrestling world, even though a lot of people won't remember him because it's so far away from this era of wrestling that a lot of the younger kids, they don't go back and watch the old stuff on the old videotape that their parents have in their rooms, or like the black and white, or like the golden era of wrestling, and go back. They don't know who Haystacks Calhoun is. They don't know who Buddy Rogers is. They don't know who like there's names like all these names. My Killer Kowalski's. They don't know these, man. They just think that's a fictional character that parents made up when they talk about old wrestling. I was taught. My dad told me all these guys. Some of these guys actually came to my grandfather's house and actually hung out and drank some Rheingold beer and sat in the living room smoking cigars, talking shit. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
Oh, have at it.
Yeah, like they actually hung out in the house, and so I would hear stories about it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And as I got older, I started watching it more and more and more, and like learning about the stuff. And then I started watching people do shows, and like I just love pro wrestling, and especially I now watching WWE as a kid and growing up doing this podcast now for 3 years. I love the big stuff. I know nothing against AEW. I don't really watch the project, and I like see the clips and everything, but
Yeah, me neither.
I love I love the WWE stuff, but mainly I focus in on the independent wrestling scene. The kids and the men and women, the girls and boys, Latinos and Latinas that don't get the spotlight. That's where Dudes at Ringside comes in as the internationally known flavor that keeps the independent heartbeat going. That's
Yeah.
why I always say hashtag support independent wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel that by me helping a smaller market wrestler, it could help them get themselves into the AEWs, into the WWEs, into the NWAs, Impacts. That name that I use when I say their names, I feel like it gives like a slingshot into the atmosphere
Absolutely.
a little bit more, because these smaller markets, like I live in PA, and there's a lot of wrestlers that never accept the invite because they think that something's going to happen. And I'm like, what's going to happen? Am I going to help you further yourself in your career so you're not McDonald French fry boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But we had the same thought. Like Ginger always says that too. It's like WWE and AEW, those big name guys, they get enough fucking attention. You know, it's more fun, more what's the word? More fulfilling, I guess you kind of say, of getting those guys like that a spotlight and the platform to even just like be able to talk. Because a lot of those guys, imagine you only hitting a show once a week in front of a crowd. At least this way, you can talk and try to learn and get more experience as you try to put yourself out there more.
yeah. I totally agree. Like it makes me feel good when I see there's a young Puerto Rican wrestler. Actually, she's in the States right now doing her tour. Can't think of her name, but she's in the States. She's from Puerto Rico. And I see her. I missed meeting her by like one show because I couldn't go to the PPW show in Slatington. And I was like, man, and she messaged me and she's like, I was there at PPW. I'm like, I know, I couldn't go. Damn it. And I was like, oh, I wanted to meet you and see all that jiggle in person. I mean, oh geez. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So I like what you mean by like taking about like, you know, any like promoting more of the Latino aspect of it all, especially in the indie wrestling, because that's kind of where I started with it with Weasel, when we would go down to Old Town before he even really thought about putting a podcast together. We would just go there and have some beer. And I was like, listen, this is Old Town Kissimmee, Florida. There's going to be a Puerto Rican there. So I would just take my flag, and then whenever there was a Puerto Rican there, I would just start screaming and acting more obnoxious than any other time. You know what I mean? And it helped. They remembered us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how we got the
always
first guy.
about like putting them over any way we can, you know?
That's how we got the first guy, was from that. We met him at a show just off the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah.
Shout out Dirty Devin Diaz.
Dirty Devin Diaz, baby.
Yeah. It's I don't know about you guys, after you interview someone, and if they could be working on a spot and they see you walk by, and it's almost like something out of like an action movie. They stop the person from talking and they immediately start talking to you, and you're just like, huh? You were just talking over the spot with your bro about a match you're about to do, and you stop mid-conversation to just jump and talk to me. I had Alpha Jr. from the the Bloodline family. Didn't even say my name. I guess I was the wrong seat. You did this to me. Podcast. From across the room. From across the room, I can hear that voice. Podcast. And I'm just like, podcast. Yes. Didn't say 3. Didn't say the 3rd. They didn't say Panther. All I heard was podcast. And I'm just like, yes, sir. My voice, 10 octave, guys. 10 octave. I was like, 9-year-old Joe just unzipped my collar, my throat, and just like crawled out and was like, yes, sir. May I help you? I was just like, what's up? Yes, Mr. Alpha. What's up? I'm 5'1", so I was like, yes, Mr. Alpha, what's up? And my name is Joe Panther the Third. And he went the third, and he was like this. No podcast. You podcast. No, you tell your dad to move. That's for the VIPs. And I'm like, but I'm in VIP. That's my, and tickets were called, front row was called VIP. So I'm thinking I'm going to get a poster, sticker, or something cool, t-shirt. It's just VIP. I'm just like, but yeah, it's funny when you go to shows, you get like people, hey man, what's up? And I'm like, cool. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah. That's cool. Going back to what you first said, Howard Finkel in the Garden, man, that's an experience in itself.
Oh my God. I could still hear, like, even though I was like young, I could still hear Howard adjusting the mic. You know how they had the hand mics? He was just like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madison Square Garden. It was like leading up to the Slaughter versus Hogan match, the boot camp match at WrestleMania. Yep. It was leading up to that. So the main event was the boot camp match.
Oh shit.
So it was like Hogan won, but you know how every 90s rivalry match in a house show, except for the one time that the house show changed it on a whim because they had to have Diesel win the belt over Bob Backlund.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I think Slaughter did something, so he like stormed out and they chased each other out of the ring or whatever. I think that's how it went. I can't remember. Spoiler alert. Sorry, the kids.
That's an awesome thing to see though, because that buildup was legendary.
Yeah.
What was that? 92?
Yeah, I think it was 92. That was my first ever live show, and it was so funny. That whole show, everybody could have been on the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Tornado was in that show. The Warlord was in that show. DiBiase was on that show. Rowdy Piper was on that show. Sensational Sherry was on that show. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Haku. Here we go. I'm getting flashbacks. Old school Joe getting flashbacks again. First opening match was Haku versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh, that's tight.
Dude, my videotape fucked up that night. It only got it didn't get the full intros for the wrestlers. It always opens, tapes always open grainy. So it opens in with a headlock on Haku. Haku has a headlock on Steamboat, and he does the Steamboat, and he powers out of it, and then he flips around and does the flippy doos and stuff like that. But yeah, my nerd culture me is trying to give me summoning because of the green glasses. They're like, he's like, talk about us too. I could already see Val going, Ray, why did you put the logo if you're only going to talk about dudes? you want to get into the nerd side of me before?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna flippy do for a second. Sorry, Joe. Like Mick Foley, got to change the gear. Hey, all you nerds, all you Ghostbusters and Bustettes. Yes, Slimers. I am Ghostbuster Joe. I do a show that's been on YouTube, existent for 8 years. 8 years. This Ghost Head Talk has been on YouTube. The show started out with me just talking about Ghostbusters and all the history and all the little tidbits and stuff like that. And I had a female host for a little bit. She left after Afterlife, and I was starting to do it on my own. Started doing live episodes. I don't know if you saw it on the channel. And one day I had a female on there, a guest named Rain, and she's from the West Coast or near Cali. And I said to her, I had her on, and I felt like when you feel a vibe from somebody.
Yep.
And I felt it. I don't know what it was, if the way she spoke and how we went back and forth with each other, like good conversation. And a few days later, I was just like, watch the episode and it went up because I like to get a viewer. Doesn't everybody? And I said, Rain, I watched your episode. I really liked it. She's like, oh, it was really good. I liked it too. And I was like, would you like to be my co-host on the show? And she paused for 10 minutes and she came back and said, oh my gosh, me? And I was like, yeah, you. Why? And she says, oh my God, yes, I'd be honored. I'll do it. And she's been with me since actually a few weeks ago was her 1-year anniversary of being the host on Ghost Head Nerd Talk. And now we have another female host called Val. She's from Texas. Val, we don't say howdy, but we say howdy.
What'd you think about the girl Ghostbusters? I actually like the movie, but a lot of people shit on it.
Yeah,
you know
me
what?
too.
It's so funny. I actually saw the movie for free. My parents were like, "Let's all go see the movie," and I'm just sitting in my flight suit. A teenager's laughing at me, and I'm going, I don't want to punch a little kid today. And when I saw my kid, I was like, yeah, got my popcorn. I didn't have a problem with it till the media got it. The Paul Feig
Yeah.
media got it, starting calling the male fans basement dwellers, and I kind of got hit in the wrong way with that. I hit a crotch shot with that one because I live in a basement of my parents' house. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. No. And actually, fun fact. Oops, sorry, go on.
No one was saying you were talking, dude. Go
Go
for
ahead,
Oh,
go
it.
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I actually went to Comic-Con that year, that movie when it came out, and I actually was leaving Comic-Con with one of my buddies, and we're walking, and I said, "Oh, I want to walk. I don't want to take the train back to wherever station we were going to." So we started walking, and this tall, skinny white guy with a crisp suit. I mean, he looks. You could even smell the cologne coming off of him, smelling nice. And he looks back and does this. He bobs his head as he walks. The rich white guys. Just like. And I'm just like, why do I know that face? And then I look, and we were right behind him. It was like you were walking like this behind Paul Feig, and I was just like thinking all the movies he did. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm going in my head. My nerd me is going Bridesmaids, like the movie he did with the other movie with the two cops that he did. I'm thinking, and then I'm like, oh, Ghostbusters for 2016, and I said, dude, that's Paul Feig. And my friend's like, stop, Joe. You always say you bump into celebrities, and I was like, kept saying it. I'm like, he's still behind us. He's still in front of us, and I literally go, hey, Paul, and he's walking, and I kind of didn't want. He heard me, and he kind of like me. And he turned around and he went, hey, guys, what's going on? He stopped talking 10 minutes and he started talking to us. And he literally said that stupid line I just said. Oh, I didn't know if I wanted to stop to talk to you guys because I saw you with the regular Ghostbusters gear. I thought you were going to be a basement dweller.
Oh, man.
And I totally was like, I was like, calm. And I said to him, Paul, I just wanted to tell you this, but what that line you just said was very offensive. And I'm a big Ghostbusters fan, and I'm the only one in my small town of Milford, Pennsylvania, name drop, that supported your movie, and everybody else was actually shitting on it and like disrespecting it, and I was like sticking up for your movie. So please don't say it. Please don't do that to me. And I live in a basement of my parents' house, so I'm not a basement dweller. And he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. So I think in his head he thought, oh my god, breaking news, TMZ. Paul Feig is so fan on the street in New York, and he's like, do you have anything I could sign for you? And I'm just like, Jackie, backpack, and she's like, okay, because she had the baby with her, and she had a backpack full of our Comic-Con stuff we got for free, and she was like, hold on. And she's like, here's a pen, and he's like, which one's yours? I'm like, this one's mine. He's like, what's your name? And I'm like, my name's Joe. Here you go, Joe. So sorry. And I'm like, Jackie, stickers? And she's like, and he's like, I'll take a picture with it. I'm like, yeah. He took a picture with it, and then I was like, no, that one's for you. And he goes, for me? Oh, it says 2016 on it. And I was like, yes, my franchise started in 2016. He's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Is it because of our movie? I was like, no, just because that's the year I got my franchise started. And he's like, oh, do you have any, is your friend want an autograph too? And he's like, yes, Jackie. Poster, pen, and she's like, use the same pen, guys. So I have a Paul Feig autograph and a picture of Paul Feig.
Nice.
Very cool.
He kind of bit the bullet and kind of called the basement dweller to a Ghostbusters fan. I kind of hold that to heart because I'm like, I shouldn't, but like, don't call the fans rude names unless you want to be called out about it. Like,
absolutely. Nice
I
thing
had
is you
no
never know
idea that's what they were calling them.
yeah.
You were going with so?
That's the thing too, man. You never know who you're talking to either.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I put my foot in my mouth a couple times. That's for sure.
Oh man, I have totally like, I've had moments that I've at wrestling shows and people have gone and said things to me or on the internet when I'm working on the podcast on my own now because last March my former co-host, one day goes solo. So like he went his way, I went my way, and all I've been for a while was kind of a tough road to where I am right now with my channel. It's at 1,000 subscribers. I'm having fun. Everybody could tell that watching my interviews, I'm smiling more. I'm happy more. My questions are more free. I'm not worried about going live. My parents are like, "Don't do it. Someone's gonna come into the chat and say something that you're gonna upset you." And I'm just like, why? Why do I need to be afraid? Why should I be nervous about doing something I love and doing something that I help more? I feel, even though some videos may get like 20 views or like 13 views, this is for you guys too. A video may only get 20 views, but those 20 people will tell their friends, and then the next person watching it will tell their friends. And any wrestlers that were interviewed, they'll send it to their friends. I had a female wrestler I just interviewed from England. She's still training and she's a kind of a manager now. Her video has 124 views on my channel. And it wasn't live. It was a pre-taped episode because she didn't want to go live because she was nervous.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That's ballsy, man, going by yourself, man, because I've been talking about doing this for a while, and there's no way if Ginger wasn't here, man, I'd still be trying to muster up the courage, go on ahead and undo this shit by myself. He's definitely my fucking crutch.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is going up to them and talking to them to even get the ball rolling, to get the interview going.
Yeah.
You know, especially like after a match, they're all tired and stuff like that. And you're like, hey, I want to bug you a little bit here. Sorry, I don't want to buy any merch either. You know what I mean? I'm trying to move.
I get nervous about that too. I get nervous about that too. Like this.
Manda para carajo. That's fine. I won't be the first person to manda para carajo. You know what I mean?
I get nervous because I go with stickers, and I'm literally that guy because I bring the. I guess.
We got stickers too.
Yeah, people give me stickers. Like I go, hey, here's my sticker, and they're like, oh, thank you. I'm like, can I do? And they have stickers right in front of me. I'm like, can we do a trade? And they're like,
I always wonder how many stickers end up in the trash that I hand out more than what ends up somewhere. But whatever.
I watched the sticker just sitting on the counter after I gave it to the promoter. And I'm just like, do I grab it and walk away,
bro?
At least put it.
It's a cool sticker. It's my logo. You know, that's that little Earth thing. The circle.
At least put it in your pocket and then throw it away when they're not looking, like any regular human.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, you know, I know, and they end up. It's fine.
Yeah, it's sad.
Are yours paper? I should get them in paper, so that I'm not hurting the environment anymore.
Yeah, I gotta find the people that do that. I keep telling
them in vinyl.
Yeah. Because
I like to put my stickers up in random places, but you know, sometimes the working man got to go over there and pull my sticker down. The paper one would be a big pain in the ass, but the vinyl one you could pull down a lot easier.
I always get worried because I always tell people that I give a sticker to, like the local people in my town, and I'm like, enjoy my sticker, have fun with it, put it on your car. Just don't put it on a courthouse or a police car accidentally when you're not paying attention. I don't know.
Fuck that, man. I would put that my sticker right on Abraham Lincoln's forehead.
Lincoln was cool. I think you'd like that.
Yeah, you'd be cool with that.
Abe would be awesome. I don't know, George. What is this? What is this object on my forehead? Like,
I'll put it on all of them dead presidents' forehead. Bah, bah, bah. JFK right underneath the fire, bitch.
Yeah, I'll be the one that's like putting on my stickers, and I do this, and all of a sudden I'm like, uh-oh. Woo! Oh, frickin' A.
Well, you know, sometimes I'd be worried about that because my sticker, it says ginger spice on the side. Oh, and I'm like, what if someone tracked me? So I never I only when I make a post about my stickers, I only ever put them in my stories so they disappear. But I made a new sticker that I can put up that doesn't say ginger spice on it, and that's going everywhere.
Yeah, but you don't usually put them up in like an asshole in like a storefront or something. It's always weird. There's a bunch of other stickers that's been there forever.
Sometimes, but that's why I made a new one so that when it's a really nice place and you know, like if I'm at the Ritz again, I'm putting one up at the Ritz. You know what I mean?
I always get like going places when I'm in the city with my sister. I'll ask the people if I have a sticker. I'm like, it's like at a bar. I'll be like, hey, can I put a sticker here? Because there's the fancy restaurant in my town. And I'm like, can I put a sticker? I know the owners. I'm like, can I give you a sticker? And they're like, sure. And I'm like, please don't be mean. Please don't be mean. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Please don't be a dick. I watch the person get the sticker and they're like, and I'm like trying to like far away podcast as I'm like standing from far away. I'm going reading lips. I'm like,
I try to only give my sticker out to wrestlers because of, asking for the podcast, or to other Puerto Ricans.
yeah.
My sticker is the emblem that I have my symbol on, the logo or whatever, on my on Instagram, the flag.
Yeah.
You can't get in those Trump supporters.
Oh, I live in a red state, so it's hard now.
You live in PA, baby. You're like the most important state. You live in PA. Yeah, that's not a red state. That's a swing state.
That's what they
purple,
call
baby.
it. These locals call it a red state, and I just go, ha! I like this blue.
Yeah, we're in Florida, man. Trump's home, new home. Because he got kicked out of New York.
Yeah, I think he jinxed the Yankees.
Who's been your favorite wrestling guest so far?
Oh, wrestling of all time or just in general?
Of all time or in general? Both. Ooh. Why not?
All time, I would say my very first international guest. Her name's Kiara. She's from England, because she really she opened up the international world for me. I have like this story time kind of Joe thing. The whole time we were doing the show, we were just interviewing the guests, and there was that knock and that proverbial international door. We kept hearing the knocking, didn't know where it was from. So in our minds, we moved that ledge, moved that box, and there's that door. We opened it, and there she is, sitting there going, heel Kiara going, ugh, boys, I've been doing here all along. What the hell? Like British angry Karen voice, because that's what Kiara is. Her character's like a heel.
Yeah.
And it's like not just a heel, she's like a mean heel. So she wears like those half black gloves with the black veil. And she's just like, ugh, children, ugh. And she come out like being like the William Regal 90s heel. Yep. She goes, oof, Americans. That's what she does. She's good people. Definitely, if you have to follow her, find her on Instagram if you ever want to bring her on. It's just Kiara, with a K instead of a C. She was trained by Lance Storm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I love me some Lance Storm.
Well, yeah, totally.
Be serious.
Yes. Can you be serious for a minute?
Impact players, man. One of my favorite tag teams.
Every belt he had, always the Canadian championship. Every belt. The United States title.
If I was a wrestler, I would do the same thing, but every belt would be the Puerto Rican championship.
Fun fact, when I was a kid, anytime I played a SmackDown or when my buddies were doing backyard wrestling, my championship was always the Boricua championship, or the Boricua championship. It looked like the Puerto Rican flag in the front of the belt every time. Like that, it's the Puerto Rican championship. Oh, come on. I
for life, baby.
I would BWO, but because Boricua World Order.
Yeah.
There's no other Boricuas by you, Joe. I'm like, yeah, I'm the only member. I'm like, I'll find members when I want them.
You gotta do like that and find random people.
Yeah. Too many white people like Joe. All these people are white. They it's kind of like the blue world order. It's like I felt bad for them, so they joined. Like,
you said you used to have wrestlers going to your grandfather's house. You sit around and listen to them talk some shit. What's one of the best stories that you remember from back then that you heard someone tell?
Like one person actually said about is that stuff real? And all the wrestlers jumped up and they're like, don't say that word. They're like, never say the F word. Never say the word fake. Right. And it's like my dad, when we were watching the Young Rock, my dad teared up watching that scene because he was like, man, that happened. That was like at a house in the city. And oh my god, in a Knickerbocker. That's like a Knickerbocker. That's where my dad lived. Right there. Knickerbocker Avenue in the Bronx, like Brooklyn, Queens, area.
Yeah, that's where my mother was raised.
Yeah, if you probably ask her, she'll probably know about Knickerbocker because that's it's a big area. That's like a nice if you like, there's a train line that goes from Queens to Brooklyn, like a Queens to Brooklyn train.
Isn't it down there by the Navy Yard, the old Navy Yard?
Maybe they may know.
After World War II, old Navy Yard down there in Brooklyn.
There was a story my dad told me. Like, he tells me every time when we start talking about someone insulting his dad, my grandfather took a girl, like a cousin, to like a dance club, and there was a boxer there, and he saw him, and he was trying to get the dance with the girl, and he's like, "Come on, man, relax." And he looked at my grandfather and sized him up, and then my grandfather was sitting, and he was a big dude. He wasn't like little like me. He was about 5'9", and he was just big. He was a big dude, like those big chubby wrestlers back in the day. They weren't skinny; they were the big guys.
Yeah.
And he was sitting down, and he looked at my grandfather and said, "Yeah, stuff you do is fake." He took apparently the girl went no, and she turned and looked, and the guy was she swept him under the table with one swoop, gone.
They're built different back then.
Like a big tough boxer. Yeah.
That's what Ginger was talking about too. Those guys from the 70s, 80s, man, they're really just like big ass burly men, man. It was none of the muscles and none. It was just country strong as fuck.
Yeah. The other person
like that anymore.
No.
They really don't. They really don't. The one guy that my grandfather was like really tight with, he would travel, and when you go to like the different venues in New York, the New York area, was Haystacks Calhoun.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He
good old 600-pounder.
Now, when you see when you hear a name like that, you already know that is one of the biggest motherfuckers you're gonna see ever in the ring with a name like Haystack Calhoun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it says that's red meat American in that name too. You know what I mean?
Calhoun. It's like it was a story that my dad always tells me about when my grandfather traveled with Haystacks. He always had to have him in the back of the hatchback. So he never had a chance to sit in the car with them. He was always in the back. Like he was driving and he was like right behind him, sitting in the Imagine that. That sucked, man. Like it could start fucking raining and he's just like, oh fuck. Like
can't fit in the car.
Get in the car. How's he gonna get in the car? It's like 600 pounds.
Imagine like using a toilet, man. How awkward that must feel.
Oh, Jesus. Had to use a bucket.
Yeah, like Yokozuna. Imagine Yokozuna having to use a toilet. Like it's got to be rough.
Well, now you could go on TLC and watch 600-Pound Life and see how people do that.
I'd rather imagine it. I'd rather not know. I'd rather just imagine. I'm not even imagining it, but you know.
My wife likes to torture me from time to time with that show.
Really?
Did you guys watch the Yokozuna story? They had on. I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, that was insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Did you guys?
I mean, I love sushi too, but I don't know about that much.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you see him in his early on in his career, how more when he was, let's say, 300 pounds, how agile he was and the drop kicks he used to have. And imagine if he would have stayed that way his whole career, man. He would have been a beast.
Yeah. I was just like astounded how like he tried. I think it was, I'm not blaming Vince, but it felt like that Vince must have had a lot of say in him gaining all that weight that he did. Because character control, you know what I mean? Yeah. Character control. So, did you guys watch the Vince McMahon story? And if you did, what did you think?
Wasn't surprised at all about any of that.
Yeah.
I've always known he's been a horror, like I don't want to say horrible. I guess a horrible human being, but I've always been a WWE guy, so I've learned to look the other way.
You know, if you listen to lots of different documentaries and podcasts and different stories from different wrestlers throughout the time. You know, if you're into it the way we are, watching that, it was just like, okay, there is nothing new there at all. But for the uninitiated, I can see where they're like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. This motherfucker is the worst person in the world. But we were all just like, okay, I was looking for something fresh and new, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to see his butthole shitting on her. But you know what I mean? But that's not what was even coming out. There was nothing new coming out.
I was shocked when I heard that he was shitting on girls' head. I was like, really? Like that's like.
Yeah, but then you got to think about the time when he dropped the shit from the sky and he was all swimming, and it was like, oh, of course, all the dots connect.
I guess.
I don't know. I was just kind of like my sister, Sassy. I did for a while. We did a show together, Twins at Ringside, And she called me a few days ago. She asked me this, and she's like, "Did you watch the Vince McMahon story?" And I was like, "Man, Vince McMahon needed to be put underneath the jail." No,
Yeah.
I would build a. You remember that old
Yeah.
show on Cartoon Network, that bad jail that was on Cartoon Network for
Super
a while?
Jail.
What's that?
Super Jail on
Yes.
Toonami
Yeah.
at night or whatnot.
Yeah, have
Yeah,
Vince
that's
McMahon on as a new inmate in Super Jail, and he'd probably kill everybody in there and poop on them. I remember that one character. I literally randomly would say, says his name. Snoo, the bad guy, the big bad guy that was the big inmate that was in there. Snoo.
Stu. I'm expecting Vince McMahon to come out in the Diddy Files. There was that picture. There was a picture. This one time they said that it was when Diddy last time that fucking WrestleMania was in New York. And they took a picture together, him and Diddy, and then Vince McMahon tweeted, "I'm going to a Diddy party." So, yep. And now we know that he does all that nastiness. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens with this. Epstein.
Didn't you meet Diddy at a Diddy party back when you were like 19?
I was younger than that, and I guess I didn't
Chosen words exposed you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't make the cut. I was working valet parking in the Hamptons. And he showed up to a party that I was
ballet.
Yeah, right.
Did your hands feel a little weird, and were you very, very tired after he touched you? Show us. Here we go. Show us on the doll.
Like that, but what I will say is that the man
show us on the doll where Diddy touched you, son. On the doll where Diddy touched you.
Did he put that laced up baby oil on the steering wheels for you?
That's what I was about to say, man. Did your hands feel all weird after he touched her? He gave back, got the keys back from Diddy, where your hands all slippery.
Yeah, right. I can't even say nothing about it because I was just a valet parker, dude. Go, you know what I mean? The man can't drive his car. That's all I can say. He had a really nice Ferrari, and he stalled out 3 times out the way to driveway.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, you need to get a car fixed, bro.
And he to learn how to pull that clutch.
Jeez, man.
Who's some more memorable people you've interviewed?
Most memorable, I would say I interviewed Jenny Santana, Tito Santana's daughter.
Okay, that's cool.
And she's been on the pod. Cool. She was on the pod like 3 times. She did like our 300th episode. That was fun. I've also last year I interviewed a young lady from NWA, which was really cool. She was on this. She's the one that does the magician's assistant, Jade. I think it was Jade. There's another young lady that was in the Indies in the Tennessee area, but she got picked up by NWA, and she was there for a long time. She was part of that heel girl stable that was in NWA for a while.
Yeah.
You know Roxy?
The Puerto Rican?
Yeah, Roxy, the white girl, Roxy.
No, I don't know that Roxy.
If you saw her face, you probably know who she is.
Yeah.
She was on as Riley Rocket, and I had her on last year, and I was afraid because I met her. I was like, "You sure you're gonna be able?" In my head, I'm like, "You sure about that? Like, you'll be able to come on my show?" And she's like, she literally came on the screen, and she's like, "Joe, I know you said, oh, you sure you were?" I was like, "Joe, you've interviewed me since I was a young wrestler." And she literally said it with tears in her eyes. She's like teary-eyed, but she said it. She's like, if I got picked up by WWE today and we had an interview and they told me, oh, you can't do that, they don't work for us, I would tell them either let me do the interview, I'm walking. That's literally, she told me. I was like, wow, that's deep. That's cool. I was like, damn, Roxy. She's like, you can call me Roxy. Riley, you still have to call me Roxy. And I'm like, but it's on the title of the video. I don't want to break the video and be like, oh, well, I said Roxy the whole time, but it was Riley. But yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens now because the WWE just released the ID or something for independent wrestlers that they're trying to look more into that. So you never know if your girl Roxy gonna show up in there.
That would be and that would be funny if she did. She'd be like, hey Joe, you need to do another interview, and can we go live? Be like, will I get an email from WWE saying, Mr. Panther, we have reason to believe you interview one of our wrestlers. Can you take the video down?
The cease and desist letter.
I'll be like this. I'll be clearly close to my microphone. Pay me first, bitch. Pay me. I'm not going nowhere.
We're
I saw
not
they're
going
already.
back.
We're not going back.
I saw they're already announcing promotions and stuff that linked up with them. You haven't heard anything about Florida, right?
No. I wonder if PPW is going to join. Is Danny
with
Moe?
NWA?
No, with the ID, WWE ID. Like I saw a couple posting
Oh.
promotions, like, "Hey, we're officially New York promotion that's gonna be involved with this." I was wondering if there's anyone.
That's the thing, right? What is it even all about? Are they just gonna go and poach the fucking independent scene again?
Well, of course, that's what they. Well, duh.
I'd feel so bad because I know a lot of the wrestlers and I didn't get a chance to interview them. A lot of them, like Danny Moe. I have on my microphone, Visage. It's funny. I didn't interview these people, Danny Moe and Visage, and we talk all the time. And I was like, I'm at their table. As I said, I don't want to feel like I'm the stooge that's standing at the table like, hey guys, hey, how you doing? I'm like, God, what do I buy? What do I buy? What's not too expensive at this table? I'll buy the pop slammers, these little guys.
That's fun.
I was like, I like that. And so they fit on my microphone. They're on every episode that I've done. And I'm like, you know what? I had to add Baby Slimer because he's part of my Ghostbusters team, and Rain gets on my case.
I always feel so bad about going up to these wrestlers. I was saying that earlier and saying, like, I'm not buying nothing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of stuff. I'm trying to move, you know what I mean? But like, I'm still trying to get something from you, but I ain't trying to buy nothing from you. Like, it's so like awkward. But I'm like, I can say, hold on.
Yeah. I've gotten given T-shirts. Like I had one girl, she was talking to me, and then she's like, I'm like, I want to get a T-shirt. She's like, and she had a box on her, and she walked to the back, and then she came back, and she's like, what size do you wear? And I'm just like, large, but how much is your shirt? She's like, it's usually 20, but what size do you wear? I'm like, large. And I'm going, and I'm following her to the side. I'm like, what? How much is the T? It's like I'm talking to a person that's deaf.
Yeah, but he told you. She said it was 20.
Yeah, but still, I was trying to tell her. I was going for my wallet, trying to take the money and put it between my fingers, going, it is $20. Like I'm talking to her. It's $20. $20. And she was going, came back. She's like, here you go. Like the shirt. Isn't it cool? Have a nice day. And I'm like, my dad's like, I see what you did. My Papa Panther goes like this. A typical like a movie. He's sitting next to me. He goes, I just seen what she did to you. I'm like, what? She denied your money. Go give it to her. I'm like, I don't want to get yelled at. It was free, Dad. I have like 10 or 12 free T-shirts from wrestlers that have sent it to me in the mail. Like, I'll send you. I got my first ever T-shirt from England on like a weird whim, like weird moment on Instagram. Talking to this girl after a podcast. It was before a podcast, and I'm like, I want to send you a sticker. And then she goes, yeah, okay, thank you, but I want to send you guys T-shirts. What's your address? And I'm going, I'm one of those loudmouth, big mouth Puerto Ricans, and I go, a T-shirt for a sticker, and I send the emoji like, and she's like, oh yes, that's a great Tate. And in my head, I'm like going through the math, like that meme with the math. And I'm like, okay, Sheldon Cooper going into a bag. I'm like, a sticker, a piece of tape with my face on it for a piece of cloth that you could wear forever.
Nothing's forever, bro. Actually, that piece sticker of his vinyl is going to last a lot longer.
I know, but that's why I said, I'm like, but will it make it to England? Will it make it to England? Like,
but your sticker made it to England, man. You're international, baby.
Yeah, that's why the name. Yeah.
I tried to send my sticker to someone in England, and he fucking denied me. I was like, yeah, fuck you, asshole.
What, really? That's not fair.
He thought that I was asking him to put it up in random places like I do. And he's like, that's highly illegal here. I was like, I bet it is. I told you to put it in a tool bag, you fucking douche.
Yes. I have do you know who Notorious Mimi is?
Yes.
Why does that sound real familiar?
Red hair. Her boyfriend's a wrestler as well.
Yep.
I met her at ISPW in New Jersey, and I'm talking to her, and I'm like, oh, she saw me. She's like, I messaged her, and she's like, oh, it's nice to meet you. Remember I told you that I only go on podcasts if they sponsor me. So I'm just like, I told her I don't have the money to do sponsorship. I work in a job that pays me only a certain amount. But I gave her my sticker and then I said, "Would you mind if I interview now? You here at the show?" And she looked. Her boyfriend was standing behind me. I was standing next to her, and she looks at him like Roman Reigns, my tribal chief, like kind of thing, like. And he's looking at her like, and she looks at him and looks at her. They look. She's like, okay. So I kicked my microphone out, gave it to my dad, and he took the microphone. The guy, I took the microphone, he plugged it in and made sure it worked. He did the interview, I was walking away watching it. He accidentally at the end of the interview pushed slow-mo instead of pushing, and it went to slow-mo because I could see he swiped it.
Yeah.
It was a good interview. It's on my YouTube channel, the Joe Panther Variety Show, and it has like 100 and something views. I was like, whoa. I was like, one day.
We still haven't done any interviews live on the scene.
It's
Not a single one.
November 29th, GCW.
Yeah. There's a female wrestler that's leaving. She's retiring.
On the 29th?
No.
I don't know. What's her name? I can't think of her name. She's retiring.
You were just talking about that, we saw.
I just was talking about some deathmatch girl that's retiring here in Florida as her last match in November.
Yes.
What was her name? I just came across her too.
I can't think of her name. She had and I just posted her in my story. Picture I posted of her with the face. I was so scared Instagram was gonna flag it because she was covered in blood. I was like,
maybe that's where I saw it from. That's the show me and him were talking about going to because it's November 14th or I think it's the 14th.
Yeah. I've interviewed a few deathmatch wrestlers. I interviewed Mickey Knuckles.
That's awesome.
Sawyer Wreck?
Yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah. Mickey
Knuckles is crazy, man. I seen some of her shit. Oh man.
Yeah, she's insane.
There's a clip on my channel that my friend made, my coworkers made for me. And she did a light tube scene, thing with the light tube went in her leg. And she didn't feel it because the adrenaline of a match. And and they rushed her to the hospital because she was bleeding and everything. So the doctor literally didn't have time to give like anesthesia, so she wouldn't feel it. He put his hand with a glove in her leg to sweep out the leg to get the blood out, the glass out. And she's looking him dead in the face going, I feel violated. Are you going to buy me dinner after this? That's the clip I'm going to send it to you. Oh my God. I was like, oh my. And another one I interviewed, Randy West. That was another good one. Oh, that one was crazy. She was like, she did a spot that I guess in deathmatch scene, there's a thing called the bear trap, whatever it is. I don't think it was a real bear trap. I think it was like another code for chair made into something into a bear trap.
Yeah.
She got hit into it and messed up her neck, and she won the match. She went out, went to the back. She's like, oh, my neck hurts. She kept collapsing. She went to the hospital. She broke her fucking neck.
Oh shit.
And they said, they x-rayed her, and they said, Randy. And she's like, what? What happened? She's like, you passed out. You broke your neck. And she's like, I won the match and everything. She thought she was fine. She's like, and then she collapsed. So they said, bring her to the hospital, death match. What do we do? Toss her in the corner and put a beer in? Like, give her some beer. She'll be fine.
We had Hardcore, who's based out of like Buffalo, and he just had a match 2 weeks ago. It was like a no rope barbed wire match. And he got thrown into the barbed wire, and like the wire gave way, fell flat on his back onto the ground, and broke his arm.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
God bless Hardcore, man. Hardcore, you're out there hearing. If you ever hear this, you're the man, dude. Thank you for entertaining us with that hardcore nonsense. I love it. I love it.
The stuff they get put through for deathmatch wrestling, I'm just like,
oh, I know. And once you see it, when you see it live, I never thought I was gonna like it, but when you watch it live, it's a totally different beast. It's like adrenaline right in here, baby. Give it to me.
I had a female wrestler as my first solo interview. It was Lady Blakely. She wrestles for H2O a lot. Have you heard of that name, Lady Blakely?
I have not, but I know of H2O.
Yeah, she told my Papa Panther and I, we were doing the interview. We're like in my room. We're in the other part of the house, and let's just say that she had one of those sewing needles put through the cheek of her mouth.
Ugh.
And it went through the other side, like rip, like yeah.
I mean, people get piercings like that now, but still, yeah.
I seen that hypodermic needles too through the mouth.
Oof.
We saw a clip of a guy. What did he do with his balls? He stapled his balls to the table.
But that was at the Juggalo convention that they do. Like St. Clown Posse, he nailed his nuts to a piece of wood, like a fucking piece of oak or some shit like that.
And Jaime said he was a deathmatch wrestler, right, or a promoter?
A promoter for deathmatch. Yeah, hardcore. Was it Jaime or Hardcore that said that?
I think maybe it was Hardcore that told us that.
Yeah, he knows them and everything. I'm like, of course you do. Like, only the insane know the insane. You know what I mean?
There was another deathmatch wrestler that I interviewed that led me up to getting Randy West, Jules Malone. She told me, well, this is back in the day when it was a duo, me and my former co-host. She said a story about Randy West, how she stapled her puss to the ring. Stapled to the ring.
Oh Jesus!
Why?
I'm like,
taking that roast beef, turning it to ground beef.
I flew up to another female wrestler. She's like, how the hell did she grip it? Like, how'd you get it? Did you pull the elastic like so tight? Did you grab it? Like, where was that?
I want to know that brainstorming session. Hey, you know what would be a good idea?
Now I bet you she's got an OnlyFans and is ridiculously making tons of money.
Yeah. It's like, did she shake the bag and then it jumped forward or on her? Like, jumped in her hand? Like, am I right? What is the game plan in that? It's like, okay, I'm going to be wrestling, I'm going to throw you to the ropes, bust you open, and then I'm going to have you fall down, and then I'm going to staple your pussy to the ring. There was no resistance to that? Was it like, oh,
for what?
Maybe?
For how much money? For what? Like, yeah, like what's exactly? Why? Why? You're not making $1 million. You're not doing anything. Not doing anything. You're living your dream, but that's your dream is to staple your pussy to the fucking mat.
I need to see that now.
Yeah,
I'm not a creep, but I'm ready to Google that shit.
Like, you gotta ask. Maybe you could ask Jules
You need to
Malone.
put that with the ICP guy together in one video.
Maybe if you get a chance to message Jules Malone, be like, "Hey, is there a video? Joe told me about a moment you."
Yeah, not to be a creep, but do you have the video of you stapling your pussy to the mat?
Yeah, did you have that when you staple Randy West's pussy to the ring? You know what match?
Yeah, now that guy now on X, you could put anything on there. He could make $1 million off that video on X.
Yeah. Well, porn stars.
Elon Musk does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Ouch, though.
Obviously.
I want to see the size of them staples too.
Jeez. Must been.
And why? What'd you get out of it? You know what I mean? That's just the thing. Like,
was it the state? Was it the whole? Believe it wasn't the Home Depot staples, those big ass thick ones that you see that.
Yeah.
Toma.
And do that for what? For in front of 15, 20 people that probably half of them can't even see what you're doing anyways.
They're drunk. They're all like, yeah. You saw the Dark Side of the Ring episode with Backyard Wrestling. Dark, like Deathmatch Wrestling. Did you see that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
My friend.
And that's when I thought, I was like, oh, it's never gonna like this, but I was wrong.
It was funny. My friend, that my buddy Hector, he has not got to that episode yet. We watched almost I watched right through, and I'm like,
yeah,
I need more. I'm like, need more. Where's this the Dark Sword? And they still haven't released any of the new episodes on Hulu yet. I don't know when they're releasing it, or I don't know if it's gonna release next year. The most recent season, like when do we get more episodes?
Yeah,
I do feel like they were part of the whole writer's strike because they were under contract, so they weren't able to do anything with all of that.
I think anyone in the guild was on that strike.
Yeah, exactly. So that
you can't get shit made unless you're in the guild. So
I get that, but it's sad.
Yeah. Who's some of your favorites right now in indie scene?
Oh, right now, I lost Danny, she fell, but Fasage, he's like a super high flyer. Like he could jump and grab a bar and then do a hurricanrana off like the top of a bar and like do like a full flip and give you like a hurricanrana. There's oh my gosh, there's so many good wrestlers that I've met and I worked with over the like past few years that now that I've been doing it by myself. Lucius Crow is like almost like he makes you think. His character is like about my height, but he's like always a leader. Oh my gosh.
Like based on the PA.
Yeah, Lucius Crow is like from the Allentown, Pennsylvania area. JJ Smith, he's from PA. His character's like a super nerd. So he's always reading books. Oh my god, you guys love JJ. He's a heel nerd. And he
I think I saw the clip of him where he was running the ropes reading the book.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally King Pendejo. Like he's like you stupid nerdy Pendejo. Like I'm better than you. I do this better because I'm smart. Nerds for the world. Like he's so good at what he does. It's like he knows how to react with the bad guys, and he was trained by the best. Like Alpha Jr. is trained, and Pops must have give him some advice into his character. So yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like to think that we went from being home and not being able to go to independent wrestling shows, and now the independent wrestling scene is like on this like rise. Like,
yeah.
What do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, it's blowing up, especially just in the last couple of years because we started going to local shows 2 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
And I feel like since then, there's just been more and more popping up. And then not only that, but consistently, like every weekend there's shows. And then they're in cool locations. They're not in the back of a bar anymore or in an alleyway. You know, they're actual like cool venues.
It's so refreshing. The AEW and WWE definitely is so played out. Like, not played out because I totally respect them, blah, 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 blah. But like, you kind of know that nothing's going to happen for the majority of the year. It's Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. That's hot. And then you dive a little bit to right before SummerSlam. And then it's pretty much, and then it's done. There's like nothing between SummerSlam and now. There's really nothing like happening between this time frame. So it's the
Except
same
the one that's
thing
next Saturday. Are you guys gonna watch the one that's next Saturday? What's it called?
The Crown Jewel.
Yeah, my crown jewels. Like
Saudi blood.
Chilling on the beach. I ain't got no peacock, no nothing in Puerto Rico, and I'm chilling there.
Really?
I go to the disconnect from the world.
That's true.
Trying to ride this election over there.
What'd you think about that belt with the blood diamonds in it?
Oh man, you know what's funny? I kind of like that belt, but every AEW fan under the sun's like, that looks like an AEW. One of my chefs is like, oh, look, I saw what they did there. I saw the belt, and I'm just like, just wanted to make it look a weird looking alien looking title belt. Shut up, people. It's not the AEW title. Like, come on.
And that's just by a real deal with diamonds and all that shit, man. Saudis don't play.
Yeah, they got the real one. Here you go. I'm starting a podcast. Here's a suitcase. Ha! Tricked you. I'm not. My podcast is only known in America. See you later. How did Joe die? He ran away going, ha! I'm from America.
Chop you up, man. The prince ain't messing around, man.
don't speak ill of the prince, bro. Show up to your house.
You're like, you're good. Come watch my podcast. Here's a link, bro. Give me your phone.
Give him a sticker. We'll put a sticker right on the Prince's Rolls Royce.
I'll take a picture with him with his cell phone. Let me give me here's my YouTube channel. Can I subscribe on your channel? Give me your button. Give me your finger. I always do that. Whenever you guys go up to a wrestler and give them your QR code or like type in the YouTube channel and the YouTube channel's on their phone, never push the button. Never. You'll always ask, hey, can you want to subscribe? And if they go, yeah, say, well, you have their phone in your hand like this.
I try not to touch other people's phones.
I know, but I asked them, hey, can you want to subscribe to my channel? I'm like, sure. They always do this to me. Joe, can you type it in? And I'm just like, I'm like the little kid finding the first Playboy. I'm like,
all right.
you want me to use your cell phone? I won't accidentally send a picture of myself to everyone. Like, and I'm like, here, I'm opening the YouTube app for you, and I see the YouTube logo. Boom, the logo line goes across, and I'm like, search Joe Panther variety show. Click, and I'm like, do you want to? I don't want to push subscribe. You push it, and they're like, okay, subscribe, and I'm like, good, thank you. You
Subscribe, baby.
Now,
talking about subscribing, guys. We need to cut this out because I got a plane to catch.
Okay.
And we've been at
He's
this
going
for
back to
an
the
hour.
homeland.
Going back to the homeland, but we're gonna switch roles next week, right? They're gonna be the man, and we're gonna be
yeah. I gotta
man on the show.
yeah. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come on your show first to get my feeling and see how I like this. Yeah, guys, definitely. Next week we'll do it. We'll go. Well, we can go live. We just have to figure the what's next week. On a Tuesday we'll do it. I'll do it like it is today, but like with the different, like the same time, I guess.
On election day, it'll give us something to think
election
about.
Day.
Oh my god! Getting all those.
I'll be drinking fucking medallas in the bodega watching the news on election day. I'm gonna have a good time.
Oh my god! Oh boy! Woo.
All right, guys, that was great.
Go ahead, Joe. Get all your shit in, man. Where can they find you at?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram under Joe Panther the Third, or you could also find me on Instagram under the Dudes at Ringside Podcast or Ghost Head Nerd Talk Podcast. And you also, if you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it is the Joe Panther Variety Show, and that's where you can find Dudes at Ringside and Ghost Head Nerd Talk, which is live every Monday night. And you come get nerdy with me, with Rain and I and Val, and learn a little more about the Ghostbusters or the nerd culture.
I am totally looking forward to that podcast of the Ghostbusters because I myself am a huge Ghostbusters fan. I have a Ghostbusters tattoo here. I don't know if it can be seen, but it's there. Cool. Trust, we so vouch for it.
It's there.
If you're not busy on Monday, I could always send you the link and you guys could pop in for a few minutes and say hi while we're live.
Riso's not that nerdy.
He'll hop on. He ain't got nothing else to do. His wife leaves on Sunday by himself.
Yeah.
I'm
just going to be sleeping on the beach.
I'll send you the link. So we're always live at 8 p.m. EST, so you can just pop in.
He ain't doing shit. He's a retired vet. He don't do shit.
Thank you, Joe Panther, for coming on to the show tonight. It's really cool to have another podcaster on here. I don't consider us podcasters, but it was really cool to have you on here and to get to learn from your experience as you were talking about interviewing other wrestlers and stuff.
Go check out Ginger Spice on OnlyFans. He's gonna have some fresh pics from the beach this upcoming week.
The dingle dangles all over the beach.
Oh yeah, that's specialty.
Gotta get the sand out of that culo. Oh man!
For those wondering, the carpets do match the drape as well. So you're knowing that right there.
All over the mansion, baby. Everything matches in this mansion.
Just remember all the Boricuas that remember they say gringos in Puerto Rico. We're not only white. We're not only like dark skin. We're a little white too. So.
Yeah, of course. Well, right here, baby. All right, guys, that was great.
Get scared. They're like, oh, gringos, all these gringos, and I'm like, bendejo.
But I would go to anybody that's from the world, from out here, the gringo they were telling me over there.
Oh, I don't know. From there?
My dad's like,
anyone that's not from there, the gringo.
Yeah, my dad's like,
for us, it was. Yeah, for us, it was always tú eres de allá afuera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm out of here, guys.
That wrestling dude everywhere. Like, subscribe, Joe. Thank you again, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir.